What's up, you guys? Welcome to V.S.O.P Sports Radio, where we only drink the finest of V.S.O.P cognac. I'm your host, Ryan, and today we are talking about whether or not Shedeur Sanders is overrated, especially after this loss to Stanford. But before we get into that, if you guys can do me a favor, if you can like and subscribe, because my philosophy is if you enjoy the vibe, why not like and subscribe? So now let's get into it. Colorado and Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, took on the Stanford Cardinals, who were 1-4 on the season. And for this game, Travis Hunter was back after missing 3 weeks due to suffering an injury against Colorado State in the rivalry game, in which he was, hit late, dirty hit, and he suffered a lacerated liver. And, during that process, he made it very clear that he wanted to come back, but he wasn't able to, due to the severity of the injury. And while he was out, he missed the game against Oregon, he missed the game against USC, and he missed last week's game against Arizona State. But for this game, he was back. And for this game, there was a lot of hype. Celebrities everywhere. And there's too many to name, but during the pregame and during the game, ESPN made it very clear on who was there, who was, the hot people that was there, and so on and so forth. But despite all that, despite, the celebrities and everything, there's a game that needs to be played. And for that game, the Colorado Buffaloes showed up and showed out. They started off very strong, opening the game with shutting down Stanford's offense. And then when they got the ball, they definitely scored and, made a statement. They set the tone, rather. Dominant in the first half. So much so that they went into halftime up 29-0. And so when just during my real time analysis, I said to myself, damn, what is so different about this game, than the previous six? And over the weeks, I had been preaching that Shedeur Sanders in Colorado, or actually, let me flip that. Colorado needed to start designing plays that allowed Shedeur Sanders to run, to scramble, to use his legs, because what I had noticed, during the last 6 games is that a lot of teams game planned for Shedeur just standing in the pocket, because I don't know if many of you know this, but Shedeur's mentor from the quarterback position is Tom Brady. And we all know Tom Brady never used his legs. I mean, other than, here and there, but he wasn't a scrambling quarterback. So Tom Brady wouldn't say, hey, Shedeur, you need to use your legs and blah, blah, blah. But I did. I said, Shedeur needs to run because he's athletic, and what gives him a competitive edge to the other quarterbacks is his mobility. So what I noticed this particular game in that first half was Shedeur started using his legs, and it paid dividends. They go into halftime up 29-0. You think about this game, it was completely a tale of two halves. In the first half, they looked like national champion contenders, mopping the floor with Stanford. But when they came out in the second half, I don't know what to say. Next thing you know, Stanford scores 3 unanswered touchdowns, completely flipping the script. In the fourth quarter, Shedeur tried to do his best to change what was going on. He got in his bag and he definitely threw a fourth quarter touchdown to Travis Hunter to stop the bleeding. But Colorado continued to have multiple illegal substitutions that just kept shooting them in the foot over and over and over. Long story short, despite all of that, I don't know what happened, but Colorado was unable to stop the onslaught that Stanford put forth. Couldn't stop these guys. When it came to the final drive to determine whether or not this game was going to go into overtime, Colorado could not stop Stanford at the end of regulation. In overtime, Stanford did what they had to do. Their wide receiver, Daniels, caught a pass over the neck and the shoulder of Travis Hunter to tie the game and send it into double overtime. At the end of all of that, Stanford kicks the game-winning field goal, and by winning this game, it was considered the biggest win in school history. And so, to answer my original question, is Shedeur Sanders overrated? Absolutely not. Shedeur Sanders finished the game with 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. He had an interception, but let's circle back. 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. This man put up football great numbers. This was solely on the defense. I was disappointed. I said they cannot stop these guys. How do you go a full half of the game stopping these guys and then all of a sudden you can't stop them no more? That was the defense going to the half thinking that they had this all figured out, and then they just laid an egg. It's absolutely asinine. To put up 49 in the second half, to let them put up a 49 in the second half is ridiculous, because let's say they put up 46 in the first half. That would have been on pace for a 92 game score. And so that's all I got to say. Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders. Actually, let me say this to Shedeur. Shedeur, you did your thing. It was the defense that let you down, and I'm hoping that Coach Prime really lays into the defense, because actually, I'll say this. The defense started this game off great. I was so impressed. But they went into the half thinking they had it all figured out, and they got their ass whooped in that second half. So I'm hoping that the defense can figure it out. But this just gave Coach Prime even more of a reason to replace 80% of that defense when it comes to recruiting and the transfer portal and all of that during the offseason. So I'm done with my analysis. You guys let me know what you guys think in the chat. If you enjoyed the vibe, like and subscribe. And please believe I will continue to give you guys honest feedback and honest, uncut perspective here at V.S.O.P Sports, because we're not worried about pleasing people. We're only concerned about the truth and objective points of view. So with that said, you guys let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time here at V.S.O.P Sports Radio. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Peace.